Right now, somewhere in your pocket or on your desk, your phone is sitting there, dark, silent, and some part of your brain already wants to check it. Not because you're expecting anything important, not because you even want to, but the real answer is far stranger than boredom or habit. Your brain isn't checking your phone because of what's on it. It's checking because of what might be on it. There's a difference. And that difference is the entire trick. Think about the last time you picked up your phone for no reason. Maybe you were standing in line. Maybe you were waiting for a friend to text back. Your thumb moved before your mind decided anything. That's not weakness. That's architecture. Ancient architecture, running code that was never designed for a glowing rectangle. To understand what's happening, you have to go back almost 100 years to a lab full of pigeons. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran an experiment that would quietly explain half of modern technology. He put pigeons in a box with a lever. Peck the lever, get a food pellet. Simple enough. But then, Skinner changed one variable. Instead of giving a reward every single time, he made the reward random. Sometimes the pigeon pecked and got food. Sometimes it pecked and got nothing. You'd think random rewards would make the pigeons peck less. They didn't. They pecked more, obsessively, compulsively, far more than the pigeons who got a reward every single time. Why would uncertainty make a creature try harder? Not less? Because certainty is boring to a brain built for survival. If you already know what's going to happen, there's nothing left to learn. But if the outcome is unknown, your brain leans in. It has to. Not knowing used to mean something out there might matter. Fast forward decades later, a neuroscientist, Wolfram Schultz, put this same idea under a microscope, this time watching the brains of monkeys instead of pigeons. Schultz tracked dopamine, the brain's chemical messenger tied to motivation, and found something almost nobody expected. Dopamine wasn't mainly firing when the reward arrived. It was firing hardest in the moment right before, when the outcome was still unknown. Dopamine, it turns out, isn't really a pleasure chemical. It's an anticipation chemical. Your brain doesn't light up because you got the thing. It lights up because you might get the thing. Now, hold that thought and look down at your phone again. Every time you unlock it, you don't know what's waiting. Maybe a message, maybe nothing. Maybe a notification that changes your whole day. Maybe just an ad. You don't know until you check. And that not knowing is exactly the switch your dopamine system was built to respond to. This isn't an accident of modern life. It's a rediscovery of something ancient, repackaged in a screen. For most of human history, uncertainty wasn't entertainment. It was survival information. A rustle in the grass might be wind. It might be a predator. A distant sound might be nothing. It might be an approaching group, friendly or hostile. Your ancestors who paid close attention to uncertain signals lived longer than the ones who ignored them. Over hundreds of thousands of years, that attention got wired in. Deep, automatic, non-negotiable. Your brain never evolved a setting for check. Anyway, even though it's probably nothing. It only evolved one setting, uncertain signal detected. Investigate now. Notifications exploit that setting perfectly. A buzz in your pocket doesn't tell you what it means. It just tells you something changed. And something changed used to be one of the most important sentences a human brain could process. So what happens when that ancient alarm system gets triggered 50, 80, over 100 times a day? Neuroscientist Kent Berridge, working decades after Schultz, helped separate two things people usually lump together: wanting and liking. Wanting is the pull toward something. Liking is the pleasure once you have it. Berridge's research showed these run on partly different systems in the brain. And here's the unsettling part. Wanting can stay high even when liking drops. You can crave the check without enjoying what you find. That's why scrolling can feel less like satisfaction and more like itching. You tap, you glance, you swipe past, and the pull doesn't go away. It just resets, waiting for the next uncertain moment. The reward isn't the content. The reward was always the maybe. This is the same reason a notification with no information, just a small red dot, no number, no preview, can feel almost impossible to ignore. Your brain doesn't need details. It only needs ambiguity. Ambiguity is the bait. Here's where it gets stranger. Your phone isn't just mimicking one ancient system, it's mimicking two. The first is threat detection. The same circuitry that once scanned the grass for predators, now scanning your notifications for anything that might require a response. The second is social monitoring, the part of your brain obsessed with your standing in the group. Because for most of human history, your group was your survival. Falling out of favor with your tribe wasn't an inconvenience. It could be a death sentence, a like, a comment, a read receipt with no reply. Your brain doesn't file these as trivial. It files them the way it once filed a shift in your tribe's mood around the fire. Something changed with the group. Investigate now. You're not weak for checking. You're using a 400,000-year-old survival tool on a machine specifically engineered to trigger it. Again and again, on a schedule no wild environment could ever produce. Because here's the part that separates your phone from a rustling bush or a suspicious silence in camp. Nature's uncertainty was rare. A predator sighting might happen once a week. A shift in tribal status might happen once a season. Your phone can manufacture that same uncertain, high-stakes feeling every few minutes, all day, every day. Skinner's pigeons only had one lever. You're carrying dozens. So the next time your thumb drifts toward your phone with no real reason, notice what's actually happening underneath. That isn't boredom. That isn't even truly desire for whatever is on the screen. That's a 100,000-year-old alarm system, mistaking a notification for a rustle in the grass, mistaking a red dot for a shift in the tribe, mistaking your phone for something that might, just might, matter to your survival. It doesn't. Not really. Not most of the time. But your brain was never built to know the difference between a real signal and a manufactured one. It was only ever built to respond to uncertainty and ask questions later. Right now, somewhere in your pocket or on your desk, your phone is sitting there. And your brain is still listening for a rustle in the grass that isn't coming.